Mike Evans wasn't signed for speed, and he wasn't signed for yards, but he was signed to fix something very specific in Brock Purdy's game, something that quietly broke inside the red zone last season. Now, on the surface, the criticism does make sense. Evan did snap his historic streak of 1,000-yard seasons. It was his lowest production in 12 years. At the same time, Brandon Aiyuk was pretty much walking out the door. So signing an older receiver pretty much looks desperate. It looks like the front office is scrambling to replace a lost weapon. But that interpretation ignores two important details: the contract structure and the offensive problem they were actually solving. Let's start with the contract, because the headline number is misleading. Now, this isn't really a $60 million deal. The 49ers insulated themselves almost completely. Functionally, this is a one-year commitment worth $16.3 million. If Evans declines, they walk away next season with minimal damage. And that part of the deal is simple salary cap engineering. But the more interesting part is why Shanahan specifically needed Evans' skill set. To understand that, you have to look at Brock Purdy's efficiency profile from last season. Against man coverage, Purdy was elite. He completed 67.3% of his passes, and his processing continued to remain one of the fastest in the league. His expected point added per play sat at 0.286. That's top-tier quarterback efficiency. But once the field shrank inside the 20-yard line, that's where everything changed. Purdy's completion percentage dropped to 53.3%. That's a massive efficiency drop for an offense that's built on timing and yards per catch. So why did that happen? Because the structure of the offense collapsed in tight spaces. Without a fully healthy offensive roster for pretty much most of the season, and without Brandon Aiyuk consistently winning on the outside, Purdy was forced into tight window throws near the goal line. And the red zone removes one of Shanahan's biggest advantages: horizontal spacing. When the field compresses, the scheme can't stretch defenses the same way. Windows shrink, timing tightens, and defenses have more leverage. At that point, you need something simpler. You need a receiver who can win a pure one-on-one matchup on the boundary. That's where Mike Evans changes this equation. Even last season, Evans commanded 35% double team rate. Defenses still treat him like a vertical problem that must be solved immediately. And that matters near the goal line more than anywhere else on the field. Because Evans is 6'5", 221 pounds, his catch radius is enormous. His frame changes how defenders position themselves before the snap. In other words, he alters the entire geometry of the red zone. Think of the red zone like a crowded elevator. You can't run complex route combinations in that space. There simply isn't enough room. Everything becomes compressed. So instead of designing space, you create leverage. And Mike Evans creates leverage just by standing on the field. Safeties shade towards him, corners play higher, and help defenders stay wider than they would normally want to. And when that happens, the math changes everywhere else. The box becomes lighter. Guys like Christian McCaffrey see cleaner rushing lanes, linebackers hesitate, and the intermediate zones open up for guys like George Kittle. So yes, the contract headline said $60 million, but the real purchase wasn't just a receiver. The 49ers bought structural space in the red zone. They bought red zone leverage. They bought a geometric solution to Brock Purdy's biggest weakness from last season. And if that solution works, the difference isn't just touchdowns. It's the difference between stalled drives and championship football.